Hello, everyone. My name is Kamara Lee, and I am the founder and CEO of Talent Plus. Welcome back to our channel. It is time to get talented. In today's episode of Talented, I have a very special guest joining me today. I would like to introduce you to Ambassador Joan Underwood. Joan is an author, a professional coach, master trainer, certified change practitioner, and she has over 25 years of relevant experience. Now, I will be engaging Joan today to speak about her recently published book, Manager's First Aid Kit.
Leadership, it's about getting things done with and through others. So the first thing you have to do is to establish relationships. And one of the things that people have said they like about the book is my use of stories from my own life. And not just the stories where I excelled, but I talk about my growing pains, how, the mistakes that I made and how I learned from them. And when I first started my career as a supervisor and then as a manager, I tended to focus very much on the task. I was extremely results oriented. So any assignment that you gave me to do, I was going to get it done on time, exceptional quality, within budget. The thing is, yes, I delivered on those, but sometimes it's the way in which I did it because I left some hurt feelings in my wake.
Yeah. Focus on task, but not on people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because I saw it as an either or.
I was important.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. So I talk in the beginning of the section about managing others. I talk about the importance of relationship. It's not task or relationship. It's task and relationship.
Balancing the two.
Exactly. And it's not just touchy-feely because some people say, well, if I come in and I do my work, why should I have to bother about building relationship? Here's the thing.
Have to bother.
Absolutely. And it goes straight to the bottom line in terms of how effective you are, how efficient you are as a leader. Because the holy grail is employee engagement. Every organization wants employee engagement. But guess what? The research shows that there's a direct relationship between the quality of the relationship with your manager and the extent of your engagement. The better the relationship you have with your manager, the more engaged you tend to be.
Yes.
And why is engagement the holy grail? Because in essence, plain words, employee engagement means discretionary effort. When your employees are engaged, they go the extra mile.
Yes.
So they're more productive. The department is more effective, more efficient. They're more loyal to the organization.
Yes.
So it's really important for managers, new and experienced managers, to have the skills they need to build mutually beneficial relationships.
And one of the things managers think and say, or I often hear the debate that it's HR's responsibility to keep employees engaged. And so what a lot of managers, they would be, but HR. And so one of the things I like to say to managers is, you have a role to play in this engagement process as well. Is HR leading your team or are you leading your team?
Exactly.
Exactly. The correlation, very important.
Yeah. HR is there to support you, but it's your team. And I remember when I was in corporate HR and when I went into the role, it was HR's responsibility to recruit and everything related to, that's your responsibility. And so after I looked at it, I said, this doesn't make any sense. It's your team. You are accountable for the results that your team delivers. You are willing to leave it up to me to decide who's on your team?
Exactly.
Or do you want to have a say in that process? Yeah. And so that's how, by focusing in on the self-interest is how I was able to get departmental heads to come on board, to be involved in recruitment and selection, to be involved in decisions about training and development, because you're in a better position as that person's direct supervisor, direct manager, to see how they perform, to identify any gaps that might exist.
Yes, and help in making informed decisions as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I present in the book a relationship building block model. And so it starts with, no surprise to anyone, I'm sure, trust. Because if your people don't trust you, if you don't trust your people,
you're gonna have a hard time.
Absolutely. There's no way you're going to create a high performing team if you don't have trust. Then effective communication is another building block. And there's this quotation that I just love from George Bernard Shaw. And it says that the greatest myth about communication is the perception that it has taken place at all.
Yes, very true.
Yeah. Because just sending an email is not communication, people. Just calling a staff meeting and talking for half an hour is not communication. Why? Because communication is defined as the creating of shared meaning and understanding. If you're the only one talking, how do you know that there's shared meaning and understanding?
Exactly.
So effective communication requires the feedback loop.
Yes.
So yes, you're going to send a message through whatever channel, whether it's your email or through a phone call or through speech, a meeting, but you have to check to ensure, okay, how did this message land? What's your understanding of what my request is or what I'm conveying to you? Yeah. And invariably, and I'd be curious to hear if you will validate this, when you go as a consultant, when you go into organizations, invariably you will be told that the communication here is not good.
All the time. All the time. And then you go around and you do your assessment and then you find the loopholes all the time.
So absolutely, it's a fundamental skill that new and experienced managers need, effective communication. The next one in the building blocks for good relationships is an open mindset. And I know you've heard the saying, attitude is everything.
Yes.
If you go in and you've already made up your mind, you're very fixed and rigid in your opinions and your perspectives, it's not going to work. So you you really do need to have an open mindset, a growth mindset, a possibility mindset. And that's
Go ahead.
That's how you cultivate relationships, because you may have seen the person from a distance. You may even have a pre-existing relationship with them in another capacity. So you come in with these blinkers on. Oh, I already know them. I know what they're about. And you have them in this box, and you just shut your mind down and you know what you need to know about them. And that person may have changed since then.
Exactly.
The circumstances have definitely changed.
It just shows you're still in the same place.
There you go.
and
that's not a good thing.
And that's not a good thing. I'm so happy that you touched on that, and attitude as well. One of the things that stood out for me in your book is that you spoke about attitude and ability. Having, I think it was called a winning attitude. And then looking at your ability.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that goes into your success, but it starts first with the attitude. And there's an exercise that I learned and I use in my training. I mean, I've been using it for years, that if you actually write out the alphabet from A to Z and you assigned numbers in increasing order. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, etc.
I remember doing that.
Yes. And you number them out. And then you take the numbers assigned to the letters in attitude and add them up. It adds up to 100. So I use that in training to say attitude really is everything. It's 100%. All right? Because with the right attitude, you can overcome any obstacle. Because if you have an open mindset, if you have an attitude that says, this is a journey of learning and development. If you don't have certain skills, certain abilities, you're open to learning them, to acquiring them, to partnering with others who have those knowledge, skills, and abilities on your team so that the team can be successful.
The book, as well as this podcast, it is filled with food for thought. You will get your belly filled. Promise me you will. So I encourage you to purchase the book. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. It is time to get talented.